Listen up, Triple H, you ball fraud. Let me steal a couple of lines here from John Cena. This is not a functional relationship. It's not. You think you can treat your fans like they're dumbasses and give us these garbage shows week in and week out and get away with it and be consistent with your success? No, you can't. Because you have taken things a little too far, Triple H. You have bit off more than you could chew. Because it has gotten to a point where 90%, if not over 90% of the WWE fan base are starting to realize that WWE absolutely sucks. TKO absolutely sucks. And this company, this goddamn garbage company, is going in a direction that absolutely sucks for every single wrestling fan out there. Everybody's starting to see it, man. Everybody's starting to see it. So Triple H, you can maximize your revenues as much as you want. You can give us these trash shows as much as you want. And you can have every seat in the building be over $1,000 as much as you want. But at the end of the day, sooner or later, this will come to bite you in the ass. And I'll still be here. I'll still be here on this channel with the microphone I'm holding right now to talk about it, to talk about your downfall. And I'm going to enjoy every single second of it. Every single second. So anyways, let's talk about tonight's Friday Night Smackdown, which was the absolute worst episode of Smackdown I have ever seen. Because you see, at least in late 2024 or early 2025, Smackdown was still trash, but at least you get to hear adrenaline in my soul, and you get to see the undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes. You know, the face of the company. Was he on this show? Absolutely not. But okay, who is the undisputed champion right now? John Cena. Was he on the show? Absolutely not. The last time we saw him, he was in the match against Randy Orton. Was Randy Orton in the show at least? Absolutely not. So you're telling me that the star of this show, the star of Friday Night Smackdown tonight, was Solo Sikoa? Solo goddamn Sikoa. The guy that pinned Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns in 1 year and still couldn't get over. The guy who had Paul Heyman and Roman Reigns by his side for 2 years and still couldn't get better in any aspect of wrestling. In any aspect, man. And this guy was the guy that we built this entire show around. And who else, huh? Who else? JC Mateo. JC Mateo, because apparently the name Jeff Cobb wasn't Samoan enough for these crackheads. So anyways, yeah, these washed up Samoans are the ones that kick off Friday Night Smackdown. It's just Solo going, oh, the US title is on our family again, thanks to JC, my boy JC. And then Solo just starts yapping for like 2 minutes, saying absolutely nothing. And then Jacob Fatu picks up the mic and he proves me right for the 69th time, because he said the same thing that he said last week and the week before that and the week before that and the week before that. I'm all gas, no brakes with it, bruh. Ya Ramin, I'm all gas, no break with it, bruh. Ya Ramin, shut the hell up, man. Shut the hell up. All this guy does is act like a criminal and say absolutely nothing on the mic, and the IWC glazed this guy like he's some kind of a mic god, like he's The Rock or something. Get the hell out of here, man. Get the hell out of here. Anyway, Solo says, well, I did this because I love you, Jacob, and, I want to hear that from you as well. Say it. And Jacob says, I love you, Solo. And Solo says, no, man, that's not how you used to say it. You used to be real loud and proud with it, remember? And then, before Jacob Foster can say anything, we see LA Knight for the 69th time feuding with a Bloodline. Is this guy ever going to escape the Bloodline vortex, man? Is he ever gonna? LA Knight is the new Kevin Owens at this point, man. Is he ever? I'm just repeating myself at this point, because this garbage booking has me going absolutely crazy. So anyways, LA Knight attacks JC Mateo and, just leaves the arena or something. I don't even know. And that's it. That's it. Wow, dude. Just wow. Anyways, let's just move on. So we see Michin and BFAB backstage, where BFAB tells Michin, Michin in the bank sounds so good, right? No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I don't know what kind of drugs WWE's been putting into the catering food for these jobbers to talk all this nonsense. You know what sounds better than Michin in the bank, BFAB? You know what sounds better than that? How about Michin in the list of people to get released? Okay, maybe that was a little too harsh, Well, I'm just goddamn pissed at the show. So anyways, yeah, let's get right into the match. We had a triple threat match between Alexa Bliss, Michin, and Chelsea Green for the Money in the Bank qualification. Now, this match was whatever, I wouldn't say it was bad, but it wasn't good either. The only person that even had some kind of a showing in this match was Alexa Bliss, and she's been getting crazy pops every single week, so that's good, I guess. And thankfully, they made the right decision by having Alexa Bliss go over. So yeah, this was probably one of the only two things remotely decent on this terrible show. Wow, so let's just move on. Anyways, then we see Fraxium versus DIY. Dude, DIY is just on these random ass matches every single week, and it's getting tiring, man. It's really getting tiring. I don't care about DIY anymore, and it's just sad because they were actually one of my favorite tag teams on the roster, like about a year and a half ago. Same with Street Profits. They've been my favorite tag team on the roster for so many years now. And Motor City Machine Guns, these guys, I've been watching these guys outside of WWE for years now, putting on great matches, putting on great work overall. And here they are in WWE, the biggest wrestling company in the world. And what do they do with them, huh? Put them in the same matches over and over and over and over again. Wow, dude, this tag division is in shambles right now. Absolute shambles. And now you got Fraxium, who in my opinion was the best tag team in WWE in all of 2024. And now that they're on the main roster, what do they do with them, huh? What do they do with them? They're putting them in the Smackdown Tag Team Division Vortex. That's what this is, man. It's a vortex. So unfortunately, as much as I love Fraxium, this is all they're going to be doing for the next like 5 months or so. They're just going to be having these same matches over and over and over again. And, you know, Fraxium versus Street Profits, Fraxium versus DIY, Fraxium versus Motor City Machine Guns. Although that sounds kind of good, you know. But you get the point. But anyways, this match, it wasn't as good as I thought it would be, you know. I thought this would be special, and, you know, I thought this needed to be special because we really needed something special out of this tag division. Yeah, I get that the ladder match, you know, a few weeks ago was pretty special, but then again, you know, we still need to keep that energy going, you know. So I thought this match would be special, but it really didn't pick up until the very end, in my opinion. And obviously, Fraxium wins, and DIY attacks them after the match. And then the Motor City Machine Guns arrive to the rescue. That's it. And this is going to be the same thing we're going to be seeing on the Smackdown Tag Division for the next like 5 months or so. Get out of here, man. Let's just move on. Anyways, then we see R-Truth getting interviewed by Wade Barrett.
Truth, why do you think John Cena hit you with an AA on the table on the Backlash press conference?
Oh, I don't know, Wade. That's not John Cena, Wade. That's not the John Cena I know, Wade. There's two sides to every story, Wade. Shut the hell up, man. Shut the hell up. What is this? Whatever they're telling with R-Truth, you know, with how he thinks John Cena is his childhood hero. Oh my god, R-Truth is so funny, man. He's so dumb. Look at him. He thinks John Cena is his childhood hero. Do you get it? Do you get it? He's older than John Cena, but he thinks his childhood hero is John Cena. You get it? He's so dumb. Shut the hell up, man. Shut the hell up. We've been doing this for like 5 to 10 years at this point, and that's enough. That's enough. It was cool when it was low-key, but now you're making it the main event scene in WWE. You're making it the WWE Championship match at Saturday night's main event. This is like WWE in 2010 all over again, where we get some random stuff like John Cena versus John Laurinaitis, and now we're getting John Cena versus R-Truth in 2025 for the WWE Championship. And that's not it. Hear me out. In John Cena's final year, this is going to be one of the last times we see John Cena in the ring, and it's going to be against R-Truth in a comedy match. Get out of here, man. Let's just move on. Then we see Damian Priest.
Drew, we keep getting into each other's business, Drew.
No? You lost at Mania, dude. You literally lost at Mania. You know, the challenge was made that you'd settle your differences at Mania, and guess what, Priest? You lost clean. You lost clean, buddy. So I don't get why Damian Priest is still out here saying, oh, we keep getting into each other's business, Drew. Like, no, you just lost. Get over it, man. Get over it. And that's what Triple H should have done. This feud should have been one and done at WrestleMania. Because trust me, nobody wants to see this. Like, yeah, in my opinion, Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest have been doing a good job when it comes to making the best out of what they're given. Whether it's any promos or brawls or any segments, they've actually made the best out of what they're given. But at the end of the day, this is still a trash feud that nobody cares about. Drew McIntyre should be in the main event scene, and Damian Priest, believably, should be in the US title scene. But here we are, guys. Here we are. And now at Saturday night's main event, we're going to be getting Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre in a steel cage match, which sounds good on paper, but let me put it to you guys this way. If Damian Priest wins, then it's going to make Drew McIntyre look like a pussy. It's going to make him look bad. Because this guy's been a jobber for the past year or so. You know, he's been jobbing out to Jey Uso and Jimmy Uso and guys like that. So now whatever rivalry they're telling with Damian Priest, for the sake of Drew McIntyre's credibility, Drew McIntyre needs to win. He needs to win the whole rivalry. He needs some momentum. But then again, think about it. If Drew McIntyre wins this, you're going to make Damian Priest look real bad because he's going to be losing back-to-back matches to Drew McIntyre. Wow, dude. They just booked themselves into a corner because obviously Triple H just can't book and is an absolute retard. Anyways, let's just move on. Then we see Alistair Black versus Carmelo Hayes. Now, I absolutely love that Alistair Black and Carmelo Hayes get to go one-on-one in the ring because I absolutely love these guys. I think they can put on great matches. But the problem is they're not being able to put on great matches because they have this stupid story going on between them with, the Miz involved and stuff like that. So this match, the Miz attacked Alistair Black and the match ended in a DQ. Like, that's what happened. Who cares about this, man? Who cares about this? You got Alistair Black back and this is what you're doing with him, man? This is what you're doing with him. This guy should be in the US title division. And now here he is feuding with the Miz. Carmelo Hayes, man, one of the best young guys you have on your roster. Instead of strapping a rocket on this man, instead of having him as one of the guys that you're building up for the future, here he is doing these random side missions with the Miz, carrying around that giant head on his neck. Whatever, man, let's just move on. Then we see Drew McIntyre, who starts his usual yap sesh.
I'll see you inside that cage, Priest. And only one man is gonna walk out that cage because the other one is gonna walk out in a goddamn stretcher.
So Drew McIntyre, the only star you have on the show, is relegated to a 2-minute promo where he says absolutely nothing. Where he says 2 seconds worth of stuff. Whatever, man, let's just move on. Nobody cares about this. I don't care about this. WWE doesn't care about this, so let's just move on. Then we see Solo Sikoa versus Rey Fenix versus Jimmy Uso for the Money in the Bank qualification. So you guys know that I was rooting for my boy Rey Fenix in this match because obviously Rey Fenix in a ladder match would go so hard and I really want to see Rey Fenix and Penta in the same match. But Rey Fenix took the pin here to who? To Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa pinned Rey Fenix, one of the newest signings in WWE, to thumb his ticket in a Money in the Bank. To Money in the Bank. In the ladder match, we have Solo Sikoa's fat ass in there stinking it up. Why are we doing this, man? Why are we doing this? Solo Sikoa should be somewhere in the mid-card doing some, comedy kind of stuff because that's what he does good. We've seen this from Solo Sikoa. Whenever he's not serious, whenever he's, showing his funny side a bit, which is his real side, that's his real personality. Whenever he's being himself, the fans are actually entertained by him. The fans actually like his stuff. So that's what you should be doing. You should be letting this guy be himself. It's clear that Solo Sikoa really sucks right now because of the overexposure he's been given. You guys had him in NXT for just a few months, and then you immediately put him in the Bloodline, which is the highest point you could be at that point in time in the wrestling business. He was not ready. And then you had him turn on the Bloodline and be Roman Reigns' rival and, become the tribal chief and all that stuff when he was not ready. So it's not entirely Solo Sikoa's fault. Sure, trust me, part of it is kind of his fault. He does kind of suck. But then again, WWE should have realized that and, they should have realized that this guy's just not ready and he's just not capable of playing the role that they want him to play. But still, man, why are we pushing this guy now? Why are we pushing him? This guy is a failed experiment. You guys gave him a pinfall win over Cody Rhodes. You guys gave him a pinfall win over Roman Reigns. You guys gave him a pinfall win over John Cena, for God's sakes. All within the span of 1 year, and this guy still couldn't get over. Nobody cares about this guy, but we still push him for some reason. Why, man? Why? And this Bloodline story is dead. The Bloodline story is just dead. Who cares about it now? Well, it just died with Roman Reigns. When Roman Reigns dropped the title at Mania 40, people stopped caring about the Bloodline. Michael Cole said it best, Corey Graves said, well, I wonder what this means for the Bloodline. After, Cody Rhodes beat Roman Reigns. And Michael Cole said, who gives a damn? And that was right. That was 100% right because nobody cares about the Bloodline when it doesn't involve Roman Reigns. And to be honest with you, the Bloodline story kind of died even when Roman Reigns was there, back in late 2023. The Bloodline story hasn't been good for almost 2 years now. So let's just get over it, man. Instead, we're still pushing this, oh, they're brothers, but now they're slowly starting to hate each other. Oh my God, is he going to turn on his tribal chief? Is Jacob going to turn on his brother Solo, his tribal chief Solo? Is he going to do, who cares? Who cares, man? We told this story with Jay, Jimmy, Roman. Alright, that's it. That's good enough. And now we're doing this Timu Bloodline story that nobody cares about. Like, even in this match, man, it was the same thing we've been seeing for the past, 2 years with the Bloodline. It's like, oh my god, Jacob Fatu's here. Oh my god, he's interfering in this match. He's gonna help Solo win. But then, he accidentally, inadvertently knocks out Jacob. Like, get out of here, man. Nobody cares about this anymore. Nobody cares. So yeah, unfortunately, Solo Sikoa qualifies for the Money in the Bank ladder match, and Money in the Bank officially already sucks. Wow, let's just move on. So anyways, right after this triple threat match, we see LA Knight, and he starts throwing hands with JC Mateo, Solo Sikoa, and Jacob Fatu, because he's all gas and no break for the bruh. Yara me. Anyways, then we see Nick Aldis, and he says, gentlemen, this is not how we do things here on Friday Night Smackdown. We settle things in the ring, gentlemen. So, gentlemen, why don't you guys settle it in the ring, gentlemen? So tonight, gentlemen, we're going to have LA Knight versus JC Mateo. What did I say? What did I say? It looks like the LA Knight and Bloodline feud is going to continue because of this, and it absolutely sucks. And I'm predicting that LA Knight versus Jeff Cobb is going to be main eventing a SmackDown sometime soon. Unfortunately, keep that in mind, alright? I'm predicting that right now. LA Knight versus Jeff Cobb in the SmackDown main event, and we're probably going to get that multiple times this year. Triple H's bold ass and his predictable ass booking. Wow. And by the way, I've never watched Jeff Cobb or JC Mateo in the ring ever, So I was finally going to give him a shot. I was watching this match with an open mind, Maybe he's going to blow my expectations out of the door. But man, was this a stinker. This was a stinker, and I was absolutely bored out of my mind watching this match. So JC Mateo, let's take a look at this man. He wrestled a match with a t-shirt on and, whatever pants he was wearing. Basically his casual attire. He doesn't even have a ring gear at the moment. And, when he won the match, they played Solo Sikoa's music. So they don't even have a music for him at this point. And obviously, they have a trash name for him, JC Mateo. So clearly, WWE does not care about this man. They just wanted a new guy for the Bloodline just to milk the story for another year or two. And now this is the best thing they could come up with at this time. So clearly, when they have no need for him anymore, when the Bloodline story is done, they're obviously going to get rid of him. They're going to release him. That's it. This guy has nothing to offer. And by the way, when you add the fact that this guy's 42 years old to everything I just said, yeah, dude, just forget about it. This guy's meaningless. And when you add the fact that this guy sucks in the ring, because, the match I just watched on SmackDown was an absolute stinker. Yeah, when you add up all these things together, this guy is an absolute waste of time. So anyways, yeah, as expected, with a bunch of shenanigans, JC Mateo beats LA Knight. Dude, I feel so bad for LA Knight, dude. This guy's literally so good, man. He's so good. He's literally the definition of, making the best out of what you're given on, today's roster. This guy's never had a bad promo, dude. Never had a bad promo. He can elevate any feud with his promo skills, dude. That is such a good skill. That is such a good skill as a professional wrestler, and this is what you're doing with him. This guy should be a main eventer, dude. A main eventer. But nah, here he is in the Bloodline Vortex. Let's just move on, man. This is just sad. Anyways, then we see Shinsuke Jobber in his creepy hentai-looking ass vignettes again. LA Knight, I am coming for you. Because, they're in a Money in the Bank qualification match next week. Whatever. Who cares about this? We don't need a vignette for a qualification match that nobody cares about, by the way. And why is Shinsuke Jobber in the Money in the Bank qualification match, huh? Why? What has this guy done? When he was U.S. champion, he never defended the title. He had only one defense in, the 3 to 4 months that he held the belt. And, that one defense ended in a DQ. Forget when he was U.S. champion, man. What has he done in his entire WWE career? This guy has not done anything of meaning ever since his match against Sami Zayn at NXT. I've said this before and I'll say it again. Shinsuke Nakamura, the only thing he can do in WWE right now is going to NXT. Just send him down to NXT, have him, help out the younger guys out there or something like that. And, that's it. This guy really has nothing to offer to the main roster. And trust me, it hurts me to say that because I actually like this guy, I've enjoyed a lot of stuff this guy's done outside of WWE, and he seems like a chill dude. But then again, he brings nothing to the table. So let's just move on. So there we go, guys. This episode of Smackdown has been absolutely terrible. And what's the main event? What is the main event? A Nia Jax match. A Nia Jax match to close out this garbage show. Are you kidding me? Get out of here, man. And it was Nia Jax versus Tiffany Stratton. Something we've seen before, like a million times. And nobody wants to see this match. Nobody asked for this match. So why are we doing it? But yeah, this was a pretty decent match, you know. It wasn't great like a lot of people are gassing it up. Like I've said before, you know, in my backlash review, the problem with WWE fans right now is that, you know, because the product just sucks and is going, you know, it's just total garbage. Whenever we get anything remotely decent, it is gassed up like it's the best thing in the world. And that's the same thing that happened to this match. It was just decent, and the fans online pretended like it was a classic. Even the commentators, man, guys like Joe Testicle were on commentary saying, "Oh my God, that was such a classic. We just witnessed a classic." Like, no guys, shut up. Just shut the hell up. You guys are not watching Kurt Angle versus Shawn Michaels. You're watching the female equivalent of Great Khali versus Tiffany Stratton. So get out of here with that BS. So anyways, that was it for tonight's Friday Night Smackdown. And god damn it, this was probably one of the worst, if not the worst Smackdowns I have ever watched in my entire life, dude. God damn it. This was horrible, man. Dude, it was unwatchable. This is literally unwatchable. The definition of unwatchable, dude. And it absolutely sucks that me, as a hardcore wrestling fan, someone that's been watching wrestling for, you know, my entire life, basically, that I am saying this, you know, someone like me saying this. Imagine a casual fan, or, you know, someone that doesn't watch wrestling because WWE loves pulling in new fans, you know. Do you think anybody's gonna like the show? No, man. They're gonna be bored out of their minds, and they're gonna say, wow, wrestling sucks. So that's the state we're in right now. And what happened? What happened to stars showing up on Friday Night SmackDown and Monday Night Raw, huh? What happened to that? You know, at least back in the Vince McMahon era, you know, like 2019 and stuff like that, which in my opinion is the worst era of WWE. You know, this era might be a close second, I'm not gonna lie. So yeah, back in like 2019, you know, even though the product was ass, at least you had the top guys constantly showing, man. They were consistently showing up. Now, you know, Friday Night SmackDown, the top stars, you know, Cody Rhodes, John Cena, Randy Orton, they're all MIA. Cody Rhodes, dude, this guy's the face of the company, and here he is taking a long-ass vacation. Wasn't this the same dude that was bragging about how, you know, he's on the John Cena schedule now? You know, I'm on the John Cena schedule now, guys. Look at me. I'm the face of the company. Well, guess what, buddy? The John Cena schedule lasted for more than a year. So I don't care if you're in Disneyland or Universal. Just get to work, man. Get to work. You're the face of the company. I'm in Florida too. You know, I'll personally drive you to SmackDown. Please, man, just show up to work. John Cena, dude. John Cena, the undisputed WWE champion, and obviously the biggest draw in WWE right now. And this guy doesn't even show up. His final year, man. His final year. He talks a big game about how, you know, oh, WWE, they're the reason why I'm here. So I don't mind them owning my name, you know. I don't mind them getting a cut out of every single movie I make. I don't mind it. I love WWE. I love Vince McMahon. But now that it's his final year, instead of having some more respect for his final year and for the WWE itself, and, you know, actually showing up consistently one last time, here he is, showing up once in 2 weeks, because he's off doing a random ass movie that nobody's gonna watch in Budapest. Because let's be honest, this guy's not like The Rock, you know, where he's a Hollywood star, a big Hollywood star that's in these billion-dollar movies, you know. No, this guy's making movies called Ricky's to Nicky. Ricky's to Nicky, like nobody cares about it, man. And this guy's out here being naked in the Oscars. No one cares about this guy in Hollywood. Nobody does. And he's prioritizing Hollywood over the business that made John Cena. Wow, dude, just wow. And Randy Orton, after every single big match, he goes home and sits on his fat couch playing Elden Ring. That's all this guy does. He loses a big match and then he goes on a vacation. Like, okay, I get it, you know, this guy is old. But then again, that's exactly why you don't rely on these old guys to do all the heavy lifting on your shows, man. You gotta build up your younger guys as well. Everybody, man, everybody that's doing the heavy lifting in WWE right now, every single main eventer, they're either pushing 40 or they're well past 40. And it absolutely sucks, dude. It just sucks. I made a whole separate video on it, by the way. You should really check it out. So with that being said, that's it for this review of Friday Night Smackdown, which, again, was probably the worst episode of Smackdown that I've ever watched. I'm going to give this a 1 out of 10, dude. 1 out of 10. Get out of here. So anyways, guys, that is it for today's video. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out.